You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the August 19th meeting for the LaPorte County Board of Zoning Appeals. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay. All right, good evening. I'm going to call to order the Tuesday, August 19th meeting of the LaPorte County Board of Zoning Appeals to order. If you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Cicero, if you would lead us in the pledge. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and I just want to make a quick reminder to everyone to silence your cell phones. Can I get a roll call, please?
Melissa Mischke.
Here.
Ernie Schmidt.
Here.
Vern Schaefer.
Here.
Eric Boynton.
Here.
Jeff Baltus.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Great, thank you. I will accept, I'll give him a second. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the July 15th meeting minutes.
Motion, we approve the
Minutes.
the minutes from July 15th as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay. So I'm going to make an amendment to the agenda tonight is moving petition number 6, which I'm going to gather most of you are here for, up to number 1, because we do have some attorneys present and we'd like to get that moving along for them. So I'll entertain a motion to amend the agenda.
I'll make a moving.
A second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, and all in favor of amending the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right. So I just want to remind everybody tonight that we have a 3-minute time limit on remonstrance, and remonstrance is the only form of public comment that we have for this board. So if you have something to say when your 3 minutes come up, that's the time to say it. We don't entertain other comments after the petition's been voted on or after the meeting as well. So with that, let's go on to petition number 1, which is a petition for variance of use for Premier Real Estate Development, LLC, leaser, and RJ's Boosted Performance, LLC, and TK's Repair, LLC, leasees, for operating a small mechanic business. Business hours will be Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 to 4. The property is located at 305 West Johnson Road, LaPorte, Center Township, zoned R1B on 1.068 total acres.
Notice adequate.
Thank you. Petition number 1. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Aubrey Gerke, and I am here on behalf of RJ's Boosted Performance and TK Repairs, which is Rafael Jimenez and Tate Miller. They are both in the audience with me.
Okay.
And we do
I'm going to need you to state your name again and
Aubrey Gerke.
address for the record.
It is 343 Chateau Drive, LaPorte, and I live in Center Township.
All right. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what the plan is for this property and why you want to put a mechanic shop in here?
Definitely. So this property is ideal for this location. At RJ's Boosted, he specializes in routine vehicle maintenance. He does a lot of high-end vehicles such as Volkswagen lineup, Audi, Porsche, Lexus, a lot of the higher-end vehicles, the German engineering that a lot of the mechanics in town here do not specialize in. A lot of those repair facilities for those vehicles, you have to go to the Chicagoland area, Cherville, Maryville, East Chicago, or into Chicago. So that's where he's a huge asset to this community to allow that to have it right at our doorstep. He does a lot of basic mechanical stuff as well when it comes to cars, but the high-end stuff is his specialty. And then at TK Repairs, Tate does a lot of the mobile service for heavy equipment. He's went to college for that out in Wyoming at WyoTech. So he is certified with all of that, and a lot of his stuff is mobile service work. He did that prior for a company and decided he could do it on his own, so he is doing his own business. Raphael at RJ's Boosted has been in business business for 4 years so far now, and Tate has been in business for 2. They both are standing businesses here in town currently, and this location would be perfect. It's 5 garage bays. It's 5,800 square foot. The 2 garage bays to the far left on the west side would be designated for Tate's. A lot of that would be storage for his service truck overnight and his tools and equipment. And then the other 2 bays, it would be bay 2 and 3 in the middle, would be for Raphael to go through, have cars in and out of there. And most of their work is all appointment based. So it's not like people are coming through, dropping off, loitering around, like kind of like a Jiffy Lube would be, where people sit there and wait. They are not that way. And with that stuff, a lot of the times, it's a little bit more time consuming with that stuff in terms of diagnostic, electrical, this, that. It's time consuming. They don't want to have customers waiting, having to worry about customers at the shop. What are they doing? Watching their tools. Appointment based. There's a waiting room. There are 2 bathrooms in there from the Center Township Fire Department. A small kitchenette in there, and then there's a smaller building, 1,000 square foot behind the building, where they would try to do a lot of their tire stuff, they're thinking. But obviously once we get in the building, we're going to know more on how to lay stuff out and organize, whether that be tires in the front, just kind of figuring out the floor plan a little bit more. This allows them to expand, though, because where they're at now, they're kind of landlocked. In the automotive business, you can't get anything fast anymore, especially when it comes to ordering parts. Stuff takes a long time, and now with the tariffs and everything, it might take even a little bit more time. So that is something to consideration, where we would have room to store the vehicles inside. Or the next plan would be to put a small fence to connect the 2 buildings, which is the large building and the small building. And I wasn't sure if you guys have a copy of my report as well, to where it shows where the fence would be connecting the 2 buildings. I believe that was on page 2 of the business plan. I've highlighted in red where that fence lineup would be. Just to show, so that way stuff's out of the way. If they were to put a dumpster in there to dispose of their garbage and stuff, it's out of the public view. But this location would be ideal, and I know it gets a lot of traffic. I pulled up the Indiana DOT, the road counters, and there's approximately 10,521 cars a day that go past there based upon the road counting, and that was as of 2024. And obviously now there's even more. We're adding more and more people through Center Township every single day. So that gives us much more exposure to people seeing, hey, this is where we're at. The properties next door are already zoned commercial, and you have doctor's offices in there. You have some Edward Jones offices. The building is honestly just ideal for what we're using it for. It has great bones, and we're looking to serve the community in a different way other than it being the fire station. The building has sat vacant since 2017 after the fire department moved, and we want to better the community and give them another resource to get their cars worked on.
Okay.
So, yes. And you have everything on there of what our plans and stuff are. We do have an attorney with us today, and Mr. Ake. So if there are any questions, we have that legality-wise as well.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to see some remonstrators. So I know that we have some written remonstrants for this petition. A couple of them are going to be available in the building commissioner's office if you want to look at them.
Okay.
And then this evening I received a petition as well that is not in favor of.
Okay. I do have a petition as well. I'm waiting on one more form, but I do have over 150 signatures of people within LaPorte, and we do have quite a few from the Center Township area as well. So I do have, at this point, probably almost 175 signatures of people in favor for this.
Okay.
So,
Do you mind if I take a look at it?
yeah, definitely.
We'll share it with the board. And then we'll have you take a seat and we'll hear from the remonstrator's attorney.
5, 6, and I'm awaiting a page and a half more.
Okay.
You mentioned the 20 businesses.
Yes, and am I allowed to speak a little bit more? Or no?
If not at this time.
Okay.
Thank
There
you.
are the other 2 pages. Thank
Great,
you.
thank you. Check and see how many of these are. Okay, so we have an attorney for the remonstrators, one present. Good evening, Mr. Novak.
Good evening, Madam President. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anthony Novak. I'm an attorney with Newby, Lewis, Kaminsky, and Jones at 916 Lincoln Way in LaPorte. To clarify, I'm actually only representing two specific property owners, so there may be other owners that want to speak that I don't
Sure, of
actually
course.
represent. Specifically, I'm here tonight on behalf of the Legacy Corporation, which owns the golf course that surrounds this property, as well as Legacy Lane LLC, which is the owner of the land immediately adjacent, which is that Legacy Lane Business Park where there are some businesses. Here we're opposing the request with the main objection centering around the fact that this is an industrial or manufacturing use in a predominantly residential area, and that by granting this request, we believe it would negatively impact each of the neighboring properties that relied on the fact that they believe that the zoning code would be enforced. While the previous use of the building as the Cool Spring Volunteer Fire Department was permitted by right since it was a government building, this use is not permitted by right. This use is not permitted by right in any residential district, and you would think potentially it'd be permitted in a business district, but it's not. Even if this property was zoned B1 like the adjoining Legacy Business Park, that's not permitted. B2, B3 permits this, but only via a special exception. In those situations, as you are aware, that requires a site plan, certain use requirements that have to be followed, and other specific things that need to be complied with in order for it to be granted. The only classification where this use is actually permitted by right is in M1 or M2. So that's light industrial or manufacturing, which is a far cry from residential. As you all are well aware, to get a use variance, there's 5 elements that need to be complied with. First and foremost, it is the petitioner's burden to meet those elements, not ours to prove why they haven't, but we do just want to go through some of those elements as to why we believe that those elements are not met. First, our clients do believe that this approval would be injurious to public health and safety. Specifically, there's environmental and noise impacts that there are concerns of. Our clients do believe that the value of their properties could be negatively impacted. Specifically, there's about 15 to 20 property owners in the immediate area whose collective investment in their property is roughly $8 million. It's believed that this industrial activity would negatively impact those values and potentially deter future owners and tenants of occupying the properties in the area. Also, to get a use variance, you have to show that there's some peculiarity with the property and that the strict application of the zoning code results in practical difficulties. The only uniqueness about this property that I see in relation to the petition is the fact that it's zoned residential instead of industrial. And finally, excuse me. A use variance would have to not substantially interfere with the comprehensive land development plan. Now, I'm not going to go into that verbatim, but the main objectives of the comprehensive plan is that there are established land use patterns that make sense, that are attractive, that protects private investment, the environment, and public resources. We believe that this use satisfies none of them. Specifically, having an industrial use in a residential district is certainly not logical, orderly, or attractive. We believe it'll risk the private investment in the area, could harm the environment, and could negatively impact those and their quality of life. So, in conclusion, we're opposed to this request and would respectfully request that you would deny it.
Thank you. Okay, who else do we have for remonstrators? And I will mention that I'd like to hear something different than what we've already heard, so we don't have the same information, 40 times. So if you want to come forward, and we'll start the clock after your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Robert Bloom. My address is 309 Legacy Lane, Unit 1B, LaPorte. I am the president of the Homeowners Association of the condominium complex that is only 50 feet away from the subject property.
Okay.
First of all, I want to take some time for the people who live in our complex to raise their hands. Generally speaking, of the 15 people who live at our complex, 10 of them are retired. So the business hours that are mentioned do impact them because they are usually at home. I'd like to be more specific about the noise pollution that the property in question will be presenting. Impact wrenches that are pneumatically or electronically operated create a very piercing, loud sound that can easily travel the 50 feet to our complex. The other issue I want to point out is that the attorney for the people who expressed the desire to put in the mechanic shop spent a lot of time stressing the features of the property and how adaptable they were to their use. I'd like to point out this is not an issue of the structure. This is a land use issue and the compatibility of the use that is proposed. The subject property is located in an isolated area, an isolated site that is adjacent to a residential complex, a golf course, and professional offices. There's a huge difference between the noise that is operating in a mechanic shop and people in a professional office who are sitting at computers. So it is not only impacting us, but it's impacting the professional offices. One other thing, am I out of time?
You are.
Okay, I'm done.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
If you'd like to come forward, please, ma'am. For everybody, when you come up, you want to state your name and address for our record.
My name is Susan Bloom, and I live at 309 Legacy Lane, Unit 1B. The reason I have come up is because I'm worried about the traffic on Johnson Road. Right now, as the other attorney mentioned, there's over 10,000 cars right now that drive on our road. What I'm concerned about is, for example, this morning at 8:45, I watched the school buses leave the school. Those buses use Johnson Road exclusively from Pine Lake to the school and then back out. My concern is that the automobile repair shop, with people turning left in from the elementary school, it's
Critchfield.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so if they're turning left going towards Pine Lake Road, we have the buses that are impact each way. And this morning at 8:45, I saw 8 buses pass me by. And it's a real concern for the safety of the children. We already have accidents on Johnson Road up by the 2 mansions where they turn in on Holt Road. And it happens all the time because of how the hill is. The other concern that I have is today I drove to the property. I live behind it. I drove to the property, and a car, if it's sitting outside the building, cannot back up unless and clear unless it backs up into the street. There's no possible way if the bays are being used, because it was never the intended use of that. I mean, even fire trucks obviously had to back into the road. So there's a real safety concern about the traffic, in my view. Also, the other thing is, We are residential. We chose to live there because it was residential, because we had a wonderful opportunity to live by a golf course. Right now we have no noise. And the good noise that we have is the pinging of the golf ball when a person hits. And so the noise pollution is real for me. And to hear even that they're going to put the tires in the back closest to us, well, there's no way to block the sound. And we deserve to be able to live in peace. Also, the people that live across the golf course on Clark Road, they're affected too by the noise because it's open space. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bloom. Who's next? Yep, if you would come forward, sir, and state your name and address for the record.
Jim Wade, 301 West Johnson Road. When I bought the property next door, there was a fire station. It was an asset to my property. The mechanic shop will not be an asset to my property, and I'd have to, the sign, when the fire department had it, the sign does shine in all over the area back in there. I would not really care for that. I would not really care to have tires, tow trucks coming in different times. I understand they're trying to do a fenced-in area and everything, but it's still, I know how business works, and there'll be stuff 7 days a week. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Kathleen Kelly, 309 Legacy Lane, Unit 2A. When I purchased my home in 2021, I chose Legacy Lane condominiums due to the peaceful setting with professional offices in front and the lovely golf course behind, with no loud commercial businesses to disturb the quiet nature of our neighborhood. To change the zoning of the building and allow a business operating 6 days a week that will repair cars, diesel trucks, small motors, and perform other maintenance work will completely uproot the family-friendly atmosphere that I and my other neighbors enjoy. The prospective renters have stated that noise wouldn't be an issue, but I know that isn't true. Air impact wrenches are very loud, along with other equipment that they'll have to be using. I've been in many garages with having my own vehicles repaired, and all of the mechanics are wearing ear protection to protect their own hearing. And the residents of Legacy Lane do not want or need that kind of noise in our lives. I'm also concerned about the negative impact on our environment due to all of the used oil, antifreeze, tires, scrap metal, and other things that go along with automotive repair. I purchased this condominium to live out my retirement in my senior years, and I'm very concerned that RJ's boosted performance and TK repairs will destroy that serenity. Surely there's other places in LaPorte that are more appropriate for businesses of this nature. I implore you to reject this variance request and let the Legacy Hills Business Park North and Legacy Lane condominium owners continue to live in peace and quiet. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, who else? Good evening. If you would state your name and address for the record.
Fedorchik, 2965 West Palmer Avenue, LaPorte. Live on the other side of the golf course. As an architect, we know, we work on zoning all the time. We know that putting industrial activities in the middle of residential areas makes absolutely no sense. Just thought I'd bring up one little point. As one of the owners of the business park next door, we have a neurologist moving into the building immediately adjacent to this property this next week. Their procedure room is literally at the property line. They have a live 3D X-ray machine thing that they use in there, and while they're working on that, they're actually sticking needles in people's spines in real time, injecting things and working on them. And I can't imagine an impact wrench or dropping a wheel or car falling off a jack is going to do any good for somebody sticking a needle in somebody's spine. Thought that would just be a nice little point to bring up. Thank you.
Thank you. Can anybody top that one?
I'll try.
Okay, your name and address for the record?
Jim Magnuson, 2908 North Palmer Avenue, LaPorte. I live in the golf course, and I am the principal owner of the golf course. It was built there because there were not things of this nature around it. If you look at any other golf course in this city or county, you won't find anything like that. And it butts right up to the back of our golf course. So we would not entertain it.
Great, thank you. If you would, ma'am, and then do we have anybody else after this one? Come on.
Joan O'Sullivan. I'm at 10 Clark Drive, and I'm on the other side of the golf course. Most of our neighbors filled out a petition, and we submitted it tonight. Our concerns were safety, the increased traffic, and mainly the safety for the children and increased traffic, and the effect on our properties. Okay?
Great, thank you. All right, anybody else? That'll still be the last one if there is. Okay. Ma'am, if you'd like to come back up. That's totally allowed. Absolutely. So if you have someone that wants to raise their hand in favor and come on up to the microphone, they need to do it now. Come on up and state your name and address for the record, and we'll hear your comments.
Hello. So my name is James Jones. I actually live on 3636 North Wozniak Road. We actually rent a building right now that's next to them, so we're neighbors. And I have to say they are stand-up people. They take care of their customers. They take care of their area. They keep things clean. They are not rude. They're not noisy. Most of the time, any time that I've ever needed help, they've always been there to help. I can't see them being an issue, to be honest with you. This isn't my thing, but but I definitely think they deserved a chance to better themselves and actually have a place that they can, work on their stuff and don't have to be, crowded so much.
Great.
So,
thank you. Are there any other remonstrators that are for this petition that want to come forward? Okay.
Thank you, Madam President. My name is Patrick Cicero, 849 East Remington Square is my home address. I'm with the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office as a major. I am empathetic to the citizens who have remonstrated and understand their concerns, but I really think that's something respectfully is a little bit over exaggerated as far as we talk about noise issues when there's 10,000 plus cars going through there, so there's already noise. I question the definition of the word industrial. When I think of industrial, I think of a Howmet. When I think of industrial, I think of New York blower. This is a business, just like the businesses that are across the street that are active is just a different type of business. So the traffic's already abundant. As far as visitors, it's been addressed that visitors to this business would be by appointment. I'm sure there'd be people dropping in, understandable. But again, there's a lot of other businesses there. They have visitors, and traffic is a result of their business. Environment is highly regulated by IDEM in Indiana, so they would have to abide by the IDEM. When it comes to the storage, removal, disposal of volatile chemicals, we just can't assume that they won't abide by that. Have to give them a chance here. And this is America. Give them a chance to show how they will be good citizens and good neighbors. This is, as I said, a fairly unique business. It is a service center, but there is some uniqueness to it by what was explained by the nice lady. It's my belief that Mr. Ake, who owns the building, is going to continue to be a good citizen and neighbor to LaPorte County. He's going to ensure that his people who he's leasing this to are going to abide by IDEM in trying to be good neighbors. Yes. Will there be extra sound? Yes, of course. But is it to the extent as to what's been remonstrated? That's unknown. We don't have a crystal ball here. And if there's complaints, it'll be addressed. I don't know the occupations of the citizens who are remonstrating, but I'd like to think that at some point in their lives, including Mr. Magnuson, who had a dealership across the street, he opened a business. He did very successful businessman, a great neighbor to LaPorte County, has done well. Probably back then they remonstrated against him. And this is an opportunity for two young men, and that's something that I'm passionate about because I do know these two young men. I've collaborated and worked with them. I had my own vehicles put there. Respectful, something that's kind of refreshing these days to see two young men trying to make something for themselves. And they've done excellent work, at least on my own experiences with them. So much respect to the remonstrators, understand, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, this really is the last call. Any other remonstrators? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I'm going to close remonstrance. And if you would come back up, ma'am, or Mr. Willoughby.
Give a tag team it, but it'll be tough to top her. She's done a great job.
Very good. And sir, would you please state your name and address for the record?
Christopher Willoughby, Brady Nelson and Janes. I am here on behalf of the owner, Mr. Ake, who is a principal in the LLC that is listed on the petition. Certainly empathetic and with remonstrators who have spoken and have made some good points, but I would like to echo the sentiments of Mr. Cicero in that some of these things are emotional, and absolutely, you live there, it's a significant investment and nobody is taking that lightly. I think it's important for you to consider some misinformation, and I don't think anything was intentional, but discussion of industrial. Nobody's mentioned industrial. We've mentioned automotive repair, and that is permitted in various districts, not just in industrial or manufactured zoning. What is being proposed is automotive repair, but minor automobile service and repair. Those would be permitted, not in this residential as zoned, but in other business designations. The problem and the uniqueness we have with this property is there isn't a zoning classification for what was there. Was it a governmental building? I don't know. It was a fire station. Beacon isn't instructive or controlling of what your zoning code says, but it's being taxed as commercial, considered commercial, just like the golf course, just like the other business condominiums or complex that are right there. So this has been a commercial use. I would make the argument that no variance is necessary, and I would point you to, and please be prepared, we're arguing in the alternative here, but under Article 29, non-conforming, Section 2901B, says a non-conforming use may be changed to another non-conforming use of the same or greater restrictions provided no structural changes are made in the building. Whenever a non-conforming use has been changed to a conforming use or to permitted use, then it can't be changed back. Our argument is this has been a commercial use historically. And we've run into this with this joint zoning ordinance, and when in approximately, I think, 2008, when this was passed, there are some properties that seem to be misclassified or what the ultimate intention was. But that fire station existed as a commercial use. There's always been maintenance that's gone on there. It simply isn't true, and I'm not saying anybody misrepresented intentionally, but vehicles can easily come in and out of those bays. Fire trucks did it. Sure, they might have pulled in and had sirens, but vehicles can come in and out. There's plenty of space there. But we would argue that this is a non-conforming use that has more restrictions on it that could be allowed without the need of a variance at all. Back to the variance that is being asked for. This is a permitted. It's not manufacturing. It isn't something that has all of those heightened environmental concerns. But as Mr. Cicero said, there are restrictions. In their industry, they have to comply. And as long as they take those provisions and they take those steps to properly dispose of oil or tires or other things that might be involved, there is no reason, and nothing that has been presented, they've represented to you. You've heard testimony tonight that they comply. They conduct their business as they should. There's no reason, and there's nothing before you to suggest that they're going to do otherwise. I think it's important so unique that this property has been rezoned sometime during the process, and fire station moved, and we still have this structure. Well, we have structures up and down that area that are vacant, and we're faced with having another vacant commercial building. It's being taxed as commercial. It looks commercial, but you don't always have somebody such as the owner, Mr. Ake. He's committed and to investing in that property to make it fit better than what was already required. Some of these residents who have spoken up tonight bought with that condition as it is and would be more content to have it sit there. This isn't a threat. I just want to point out some of the uses that could be there. And it's kind of a be careful what you wish for. And again, not all of you know me. This isn't a threat. I just want to point out some of the things that could be there versus what could with some restrictions. We could have a group home that has traffic. There's employees that are there. There could be a daycare. There could be horses and livestock. What if that turned into a pig farm? What if it did? It can. And there's no variance that's necessary. Talk about odor. This isn't being vindictive. I want to point out how the uniqueness and how the zoning is and what these uses have been and then what's allowed don't match what's there. And that happens from time to time. It happens up and down Pine Lake, which all of it's not in your jurisdiction. I'm just pointing out some of the practical effects that have happened with this joint zoning ordinance, and that's why we're here, right? To see if we can continue to operate and fit into this community. There could be museums there. There could be other government buildings. There could be transmission lines. There can be wireless communication facilities on an institutional site. These are all things that nobody wants to look at. They're all things that have to be serviced. They're all things that have traffic. I'd like to point out, and I don't know if any of you are familiar, there's the speed limit changes right there. It points out the school district. There's traffic actually going to be mindful of being slowed. There are signs that indicate bus stops, or that the buses are stopping there. So there are all the traffic concerns, the safety, those have all been addressed. And that is, and Mr. Novak appropriately pointed out, it is their burden to prove. But they've shown that they're going to invest in the property. The owner of the property is going to invest and fix the facade, do what is necessary for that property to not only thrive, but to make sure they're in compliance. They've represented to you that they're not the normal automotive business, right? Repair shop. It's more of a boutique, a specialty thing that's going to be self-contained. Certainly, the comprehensive plan allows for these things, allows for variances, and allows for use of facilities as they are, and including non-conforming uses like this building, right? We want it productive, we want it to be, but also fit. Which leads me to the last point, that in most zoning, if this were otherwise allowed, it is subject to conditions. And you're allowed to put conditions, which is another thing that addresses each of the concerns that you heard tonight. There is a way for you to control that, and everybody can be a little bit happy. We can make sure that this fits the community, fits what's there, making use of it, but also making sure they comply. And if they do not, you can revoke that variance if you were inclined to grant it. Under 1405A,
that's the one you looked up. Did you look up 1405A?
1405A. Give me 1 second, I'm sorry, because I thought the computer would be faster.
Is this a remonstration?
This is response to remonstrance.
Oh, and can we have a response statement?
No.
So under section 1405, normally if you allow this minor automotive, minor repairs in other zoning districts where it's allowed, you would be, in addition, there's some additional restrictions or conditions that must be met. My point in saying these is they're all things that fit this situation, which address some concerns. Making sure that all repair work is conducted completely within an enclosed building. Making sure there isn't outside storage, no tires, no parts. Making sure that there is proper buffering. And other conditions that you might be open to. So my whole point is, all of these concerns are capable of being addressed, while also being mindful of this non-conforming building, these non-conforming uses, of which we believe they've established their requirements, met the obligations, and respectfully request I am going to yield so that she can make her final points.
I think we've probably heard enough. I have one question before we get into the entire board's questions, and that is, how long has it been vacant?
Well, I think that's a nuance. It hasn't been vacant. It's been sold, and one of the things for non-conforming uses is it abandoned? Has it not been used? It was marketed as a commercial property. It was purchased as a commercial property.
Has it been used as a commercial property? In
yes.
continuous use since it was?
Well, continuous, it doesn't have to be, it has to be vacant for more than a year. And Mr. Ake has had commercial property stored there. It has been used. Has it been this business? No. But our representation to you is that it has not been abandoned. And it has been stored, and he has used it for his business purposes. But then again, like I said, looking to expand and allow them to move there.
Thank you. We are going to have you come up and answer questions, but it's not a time for you to recap again. So if you'd like to come up, the board's going to start asking questions.
How many total technicians will be in there at the 9 to 5?
So as of now, Raphael is his only sole employee. There is Tate, and then Tate does have 2 employees that do come in. They have full-time jobs doing other stuff, but they would come in and fill in when needed.
So what number is that?
That would be
full-time and part-time?
Part-time would be 2, and full-time would be 2. With hopes in obviously gaining more employees over time with expanding.
And they will all be gone by 5, the part-time?
Yes.
I don't have any particular questions, I guess. We all have cars, and we all have to have them worked on. My dilemma, personally, is the fact that this is zoned residential. I don't care what the building, when it was built, was a fire station. It wasn't really commercial. It was just built as a fire station. Now it becomes a building that perhaps can be used for an auto repair shop, but it's in a residential district. I sympathize with the people that don't want the noise of an auto repair shop. I do know there is some noise involved, but we all have cars, and I'm going over in my head. If this building was in a different spot, it'd be perfect, but it's in the wrong spot in my mind to conduct that kind of business. That's all I have to say.
Jeff? No questions?
No questions.
No question.
Okay. So I do have a question about the proposed sign that's in your application. The size of it?
That would be smaller, and we would go within the zoning laws.
So what size?
Enough to where it would be seen on the road. I believe what's there now is a little under 2 foot, and it's a little bit lengthwise. So obviously enough to be seen, or we would work with someone to fit what is already in there with the center township. And to our understanding, the LED that we know of is not working. I know Mr. Wade did mention that it did shine in and stuff, and if that's something where we have to shut it off at a certain time at night, we're more than willing to do that as well too. And there are lights that stay on throughout that parking lot all night long, as well as next to Legacy. So those lights are on every night as well too.
So if we were to approve this, we would say nothing larger than the existing sign.
Yes, definitely. And we would like to keep what's there sign-wise. If we had to get rid of the LED portion so that wouldn't shine and that would allow us to move those down size-wise, we're more than willing to do that as well, too.
I would prefer it if you did, just, I know the one gentleman spoke to that sign kind of being, and I remember driving down that road at night, that sign was kind of obnoxious.
Definitely.
I agree. I have to agree with Vern on this. I am back and forth. I often wonder when I see certain cars in town, where do they get their service performed? And I agree that it's not the perfect place, but I disagree that it's been in use commercially for the entire time. I think that we definitely need to be aware of the safety component of this. Fire trucks came out of there, screaming out of there, lights went off. There's a light above the street.
Stoplight, yes.
Everybody knew that they were coming, and it was not as frequent as somebody coming in to have a repair done.
That was the one thing I actually inquired on how busy Center
Point of order,
Township.
Mrs. Brett. This isn't a discussion.
Thank you.
It's board comments. Okay?
Thank you.
We want to keep the record clear.
Yes, thank you. So I think that I definitely am understanding of the concerns as well. I don't know how noisy it actually is, given the location of the facility itself to the actual residents. I don't have any time. I don't have any distances. Certainly, I don't know what kind of noise canceling barriers are involved with either location. If noise is such a concern, though, I would maybe encourage you, should this be approved, to look at some additional soundproofing inside, since the activities remain inside. And I would also suggest that tires on the outside maybe get relooked at.
Those would not be on the outside.
Again, this is not a discussion, as our attorney has pointed out. So I think I will entertain a motion for this petition.
I'll make a motion to approve the exemption as presented.
Second.
Attorney BG, do we need to add in days of operation, size of the sign, things of that nature in the motion?
You certainly can make those conditions, yeah.
Hours of operation are already laid out.
Yeah, it's as presented. Just take out the LED sign, I would.
So the record doesn't.
I didn't hear the last part. What'd you say?
They said that it's all presented in our packet, so they'd like to stick with those hours of operation. I'd like us to restate them for the motion and for the room, and that we're removing the LED portion of the sign.
Are these correct hours?
Yes.
To just restate.
Thank
You want me to restate?
Yes, please.
I make a motion to approve the exception as presented with the hours of operation that are in our packet and to remove the LED light on the sign.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, your motion passed.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to pause for a brief moment. If anybody wants to leave that was here for that petition, we still have further business to conduct.
But
Clear the room.
should get fit for the building.
Make sure you put.
No. And I see two young guys that want to work, never get to see anymore. Hard to suck their dreams away.
Ashley, we're putting these in. We're putting these in. Okay, again, if we can move out to the hallway quickly, we do have further business in front of the board. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ben. Appreciate it.
Let's go ahead and petition for variance of developmental standards for PDS Michigan City Inc. for placement of a shipping container for hotel storage. The property is located at 3934 North Frontage Road, Michigan City, Cool Spring, zoned B3 on 1.59 total acres. Petition number 2, if you're here. Thank you.
Notice adequate.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, if you would, please state your name and address for the record.
Sure. My name is Kalpesh Kumar Patel and address 3934 North Frontage Road, Michigan City, Indiana 46360.
Okay, so the first thing is I'm not very clear on where you want to place the storage unit.
All the way far from the building, and it's if you have the picture, it's 20 feet. It's all the way so far from the building.
So on the south side of the property,
Let me see this.
towards the hospital?
Yeah, towards the hospital. Yes, south side. Yeah.
All right, so it's not behind the hotel at all?
No, not at all.
Okay. And what kind of storage needs do you have that you need to have a storage unit outside?
Actually, I have a very small storage, but because of the fire code, I cannot use it. It's even 8 by 5 feet. That was sufficient for me. But when I went to the buy a shed, that was costing me more than $5,000, that much, and shipping and all included. But when I called the metal container, they cost like $2,000 about or less. So I just want to spend less money, and I don't use that much supply for the motel, so just live in a small container.
Okay, and where is your storage currently?
Under the stairs, but to the fire code I cannot use under there, so
right,
I vacant that.
Okay. Do we have any remonstrators tonight for this petition? Is there anybody in favor or against it? If you'd have a seat, I have a couple of folks that want to come up.
Sure, thank you.
Great, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. My name is John Richmond, and I'm the President of the Board of Directors of Orac Shrine, located at 3848 North Frontage Road. We oppose this connex, having been in the construction trade for over 32 years. Connexes bring trouble, and they're usually not maintained. It's more of a temporary storage, not a permanent type of storage. I'm concerned with one may become two, two may become three. I have some other concerns. We pride ourselves in our facility. We have 35 acres there. We've recently just upgraded our roof system, our parking lot. We have landscaping and lawn control. We have a lot of venues, use for our venue. We have catering service there. And it's kind of when you make that turn off of 400, you're dodging shopping carts and refuge and garbage. I don't want to bring any more of that to our area. And unfortunately, that's the only access to Orac Shrine, is on that frontage road. So I think I speak for not only our board members, but our nobility. We oppose a storage connex there. If he wants to make something more appealing, okay, but connexes are definitely out for us.
Thank you.
Right.
You have some comments, sir? Thank you. And if you would, please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Madam Chairman and members. My name is Robert Guthrie, and I am the Vice President of Orac Shrine, located at 3848 North Frontage Road. My concerns mirror much of what John said. We depend on the events we hold there and on rentals for a great deal of our income that keeps us open. And the concern is that the storage facilities would again come in, multiply, one leads to another, and they do bring trouble. We already have issues with homeless people who are coming over and camping out in our pavilion and so on, and we're running them out. And those things seem to me to be just a containerized version of a place for those folks to hang out. And I'm also concerned, Frontage Road was never designed to have large trucks and that sort of weight come through. There's already an enormous pothole at the intersection of Frontage and 400. And if they're going to be bringing trucks in and out, is that going to destroy our road and our only access? And thank you very much for your
Great, thank you. Are there any other remonstrators, either for or against this petition? Any additional remonstrators? Okay, Mr. Patel, if you'll come back up, I think we have some questions as a board. Do you have any questions? Go ahead, Fern.
I would, I guess this isn't really a question, more as a comment, but I think that there's probably a better way to store your stuff than in a conic container, especially in this environment, because they are unsightly as far as I'm concerned, and they serve a purpose, but not in this particular environment, in my estimation. So I would suggest that you look for a different way to store your products that you need to store there.
I too would like to see something different, a shed, something closer that you have an eye on. You're putting it out of sight, out of mind, and I think part of that is you don't want to deal with it, you don't want to look at it. So why does the other people coming by definitely don't want to look at a storage container either. And I do think that it is, because of the distance, it is increasing the possibility of damage, loitering, things of that nature. Do you have anything, Ernie?
This is the main entrance into the city of Michigan City. We've got state-of-the-art hospital buildings, medical buildings, hotels. We've got a new bank right at the intersection. And when I came in from the south and I sat at the stoplight and I looked over there, that was one thing that I did not want to see, is a storage container. If you can dress that something up, put another building in there, I'm all for it, but I cannot support a storage container sitting there. One of the first impressions that you get at the stoplight when you look to the left. And so therefore, I'm going to make a motion that we do not approve the storage container.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any, I'm sorry, a motion and a second. All those in favor of denying the petition, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I cannot put
You cannot.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Petition number 3 is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Michael J. and Christine K. Fogarty for construction of a third accessory structure shed for storage. Property is located at 6982 Northeast Suburban Drive, Michigan City, Springfield Township, zoned R4.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Mike Fogarty. Looking for a variance to place
Your address, please.
6982 Northeast Suburban Drive.
Okay. Go ahead and explain why you need the extra storage
Yeah, just
structure.
looking for a variance for a 12 by 20 shed on the property.
Okay. While we're all looking at some documentation, some photographs, are there any remonstrators tonight for this petition? Anybody in favor or against? Any remonstrators?
This building, the floor's coming out of it soon.
Okay, hearing and seeing none. Are there questions from the board?
So you already have a storage shed out there, and I understand that it's getting in a condition where in the near future, it'll be removed?
At some point in time, yeah.
Yes, if this is approved?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any questions? If there are no further questions from the board, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Aye. Good luck.
Thank you.
Petition number 4 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Brandon and Tara Nimps to convert part of a pole barn to guest quarters to be initially used by elderly parents. The property is located at 10851 West, 300 South, Westville, New Durham Township, zoned ag on 2.35 acres.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. If you would please state your name and address for the record.
Tara Nimps, 10851 West, 300 South, Westville.
All right, Tara, who is actually going to be residing in this, should it get approved?
My mom and her husband.
Okay. And are they aging? Are they?
My mom is 65, but her husband is recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Excuse me. And they have quite a bit of land and they just can't take care of it. And she's going to be having to take care of him as he's declining, so it would just be easier for them as they get older.
So the living space is going to be down on the first floor of the barn?
In the back, like third. The barn is really big, so it's in like inside of the barn. It's not like an extra building.
Right.
It would be a third of the back of the barn.
And you only have one story in the barn?
Yeah, a flat branch. No basement or upper level.
Do we have any remonstrators tonight for this petition? Anybody either for or against this petition?
I'll make a motion that we approve it as presented. Just work with Mike's office as to build it the way he tells you.
Second.
Okay.
If I might intercede, normally when we do living space in a barn, a lot of times the board will put a condition that it cannot be rented in the future. But I'm not suggesting you do that.
We would never rent it anyway.
I am suggesting we add the no rental, and in fact, I'm only comfortable with the elderly parents.
How soon is construction going to start as well?
I don't really know for sure. That would be up to them and their finances and stuff. We just kind of started getting the ball rolling since his diagnosis. So I put in a petition for, or permit or something for the septic and the well, which were approved. It's just waiting on this. I didn't pay for those yet because I was waiting on this part. Like I said, if you have the pictures, it says 2.35 acres here, but we own the lane, and then it opens back up to 20 acres of our property. The farmer is Mark Parkman that owns all around us. He and our neighbors are all okay with it. Like I said, it's not an extra building. It's actually within the current barn.
I think we're good.
We're amending your motion.
So we have a motion and a second on the table.
For like a living lease, or how do you say that, I guess?
Well, I usually just draft no future rentals should be allowed. That's as far as we need to go with it.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't rent it anyway. My husband would never do that.
I'll second that motion as amended.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Aye. Good luck. Petition number 4 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Sunset Companies, LLC, for construction of a second home. The property is located at 9409 North, 500 West, Michigan City, Springfield Township, zoned R1B on 4 acres.
Notice is adequate.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Would please state your name and address for the record?
Sonia Terek, 9357 North, 500 West, Michigan City.
Sonia, tell me about the need for a second home.
Right now on the property there is a mobile home, a really old one from 76. And in order to remove that one or rehab that one, it's gonna cost like around 40 to 50,000. So I was thinking to have that down payment for a newer house. until I will decide what to do with the mobile home on the property.
What kind of structure are you looking at?
I have here. It's a modular home.
Oh, okay. If you would come back to the podium for me, please. So it's kind of like the kind of modular you might see at the...
It's a 1,900 square feet modular home.
At a campground frequently? Okay. And is there someone living in the mobile home currently?
No, it's not livable.
Okay, so if this was allowed to go onto the property, then who would be living in it?
I will.
And there's not an additional home on the property?
No.
What is the other structure that I can see?
I don't have a picture. It's a
Garage.
It's a mobile home.
Okay, so a garage storage.
Oh yes, there is a garage.
Okay, so basically you're just replacing a mobile home.
Yes.
On your property with a better structure, and it's not really considered a second home. That's what this petition says. So we're really just replacing that mobile home.
Is your intention to destroy or take down the home that's, or whatever building is there?
The mobile home?
The mobile home that's there at this time, are you going to dismantle it or get rid of it?
You want to tell her? Either dismantle, either using like a storage space. If I can rehab that one, I'm not sure if I can do that.
So basically, we're asking, this isn't being occupied, this is not occupied right now?
No,
and
it's not livable.
So it's not really a second home, it's to put a mobile home in this place?
Oh, modular.
Or a modular.
Mobile home is not allowed.
So just to clarify with the board, if we make a motion on this, we need to include that the mobile home needs to be removed, or if it can stay and be allowed to be used as storage.
Madam President, the house has actually been converted to a permanent structure. It's no longer, it doesn't have the wheels underneath. It has a foundation under it.
No, it doesn't have a foundation. Yes,
that's okay.
On piers, yeah.
Thank you.
So in other words, it could remain there and use as storage, but not as living quarters?
Correct.
Okay.
So there's already a well and septic that you'll be using?
No, it's not. The well and septic collapse. It's not usable anymore.
So that's up to the building?
I was going to say that would be part of the application process with the new building.
So I don't know if we need to really approve this as a variance then, do we? Because they're really looking for a building permit.
Well, can I say something?
Certainly.
According to me, when they filed, it was either they were going to rehab it or remove it. So she wanted the chance to rehab it, since it is a permanent structure, so that's why we asked for a second home, because that one might remain.
Well, then
But not as a home.
So
it could. That's why she asked for a second home.
Okay, then that's different than what I'm hearing.
I think then that I would like to table this until which time you decide if you're going to keep the mobile home there and rehab it, or if you're going to remove it and replace it with this structure.
Would you rehab it for a different use, not living?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. So then, I guess the options would be to make a motion to remove it and replace it with a new home, or table it, like she said, and come back when you decide what you want to do with it. That's the two options.
Right. I mean, we as a board have been trying to remove mobile homes from the county. They need to go into mobile home parks. So rehabbing a mobile home is not something that we have historically done.
Okay.
So we can make a motion tonight if you'd like, or if you'd like to come back and let us know that you are able to rehab it and live in it to the building department, then that would remove you from our agenda. Or that you are going to rehab it and use it as storage, and you need to place the structure to the building department.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you should table it, because it sounds to me like the result, she won't be coming back anyway.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll entertain a motion that we table this petition.
I move that we table it.
Second.
Second.
Okay,
That has to be considered at the next meeting then if it's going to be reconsidered, correct?
Only.
we can.
What's that? Say again?
We can extend the time.
You can't table it indefinitely.
No, but you could put it on the table and then at some point take it off. But I don't
Okay.
think we had. I don't think we have to do it for a period of time.
Okay, so I guess you need to discuss this and see what your intentions are, and then we'll see if we need to reconsider it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if you contact the building department, I'm sure they can work with you on this and
Okay.
come up with. So I have a motion and a second to table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, petition for variance of developmental standards for Sean Patrick and Stephanie J. Calso for construction of a second accessory structure for RV storage with a height of 23 feet instead of the maximum allowed 18 feet at 148 Grand Ave, LaPorte, Scipio Township, zoned R1B.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. If you guys would please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Kelso, 148 Grand Ave, LaPorte.
Sean Kelso, same address, 148 Grand Avenue.
All right, so you have a camper.
So yeah, we as a family are looking into getting an RV. So we're looking to build the pole barn to store the RV. It's roughly 12 and a half feet tall, up to the AC units on top of the RV. So the next size doors would be 14 feet. So that's why it makes the building so tall. Is the garage door, to enable it to be out of weather and sun to protect it, is the height that we needed. And then, the length of the building, completely covers the RV and then some other, our lawnmower, our kids' toys, Power Wheels and such will also be able to be stored in this building. Because right now it's on our gravel patio out back behind our existing garage. So, and then he's got some stuff.
Yeah. Are there any remonstrators tonight for this petition? Anybody in favor or against this petition? My only question is, are you going to keep the detached garage?
Yes, that will stay. It's directly behind that detached garage that we currently have.
It's essentially the same width as that garage. It is double the length, but
Right.
from the road, you would see the top because it's taller, but it's the same width.
Okay.
And to add to what she said about the RV, we also just want additional storage. So we have a neighbor that tends to store stuff outside, and we prefer to not have that.
We like it.
Wise choice.
Okay.
That's also part of our intent, is just we, as a family, are accumulating more stuff. This is our first house that we bought and hopefully our last house. So all of our plans and things that we're doing are for our entire life, It's not like we're planning on flipping it or improving the property value or anything like that. We just want to live there forever. So
I do have a question. Looking at the drawing here, the door for the RV to go into it'll have to be on the back side of the building.
No.
Can't get to it because of the detached garage.
There's two doors on the building, one that would face the east and then one that would face the north. So east would be facing the road, which is closest to the existing garage. So this new building is quite a bit distance from the existing building. So I think
because
it's misleading.
The drawing doesn't show too much distance there because there's no way you're going to get an RV backed into there with it being that close to the.
It's roughly 50 feet behind the existing building.
Okay. So your drawing is a little out of scale here, folks.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the fact that you want to store this inside because you invested a lot in one of those mobile homes or one of those RVs.
Sure. And
I just want to double check if we have any remonstrators this evening for this petition. And hearing and seeing none, if there are no further questions from the board, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We approve this as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Good luck. Work with the building department.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any further business in front of the board this evening?
No, ma'am.
Attorney BG? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good evening.